video. And guess what? That time, Jai was the TTM. He could not bear himself not reading out Shalina. So he just called, Shalina, Shalina. And I have no choice but to show my screen and answer a question. And since then, what happened here? Everything just go up, never go down. So I'm very happy to be in this group and this club. Excellent. Oh, before we admit members into this meeting, any guests in the meeting rather, I'd like to also mention our newest member to TNC. Who are they? First of all, is Shamini. Although she has been our guest for a long time, she is officially a member of TNC Advanced Online Club. Shamini Siva. Hello. Or another common name is Sham.
Yeah, Sham.
Yeah.
Thank
you. I almost want to change the name to Charm.
Yeah, Sham is my name. Charm is my game.
Oh, see, it rhymed perfectly well. Charm is my name. Charm is my game. Excellent.
I'm just kidding.
It's nice. It's nice ways to remember. The other newest member to our club is Dr. Lorna Holtman, who is also going to be the incoming Vice President Education. Hello, Lorna. Thank you for joining the club. And last but not least, I hope there will be a lot more after this, but I just want to also mention our newest member to the club this term is Captain Terence Lee. Hi, Captain. So Malaysian Airline, Captain, you know who he is. Next time you have a question about safety, anything with the airplane, ask him, yeah? So we are very talented club and have a mixture of specialization. And it's a very interesting combination. This is what I love about this club. Now the time is 2:02, adjourn the AGM. Secretary, kindly note. Thank you so much. We will now proceed to our regular meeting. Thank you everyone for being here for the AGM. And now, 2:02, we are going to commence our regular club meeting. And first, I see we have a guest here, Enda. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. And where is our champion, heavyweight champion, coach? Hello. Hello. I miss you in KK. Can you please show us plug, please? Show us, please. Good.
Thank you so much.
Where is your Triple Crown plug? I'm going to get mine out now.
Oh.
So during the AGM, I talk about the President Distinguished Status. I want to quickly share this glory with everyone here. District 87, turn 20, 23, 24, President's Distinguished Club. This is all the effort, yeah, all the effort from you guys to make it possible. So let's march forward for another one and more and more and more of this. Yes, yep, cool. Right. Our meeting today, someone can share the meeting agenda for me?
The
chat group?
It's in the group. Where is it? You already shared it. Where do you want to?
Yeah. TNC, put it in the chat group in case our guests would like to know what is our meeting agenda. Thank you so much, DT and Miranda.
And everyone. And then how do we do that? File. Computer. Download. Yes. All right.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our TNC Advanced Online Toastmaster Club meeting number 75. I am your club president. I'd like to first welcome you back and also thank you for being here with us for this 75th meeting. I'd like to again congratulate members, ESCO of this club who made this club a president distinguished or achieve president distinguished status for the current term. And I am so confident, we also have confidence to say with the new incoming group of ESCO, we will continue to reach a higher heights. For our guests, we just completed our election before you join us for our regular meeting. I'd like to welcome you to our TNC meeting as well. Today, we have two speakers. One is center stage, another is a sharing by our members. If you'd like to know more about TMC Advanced Online Club, kindly feel free to reach out myself, any members that you can see in front of the screen. If you don't know any familiar faces, let me introduce again our incoming club president, DTM Halina Indra. Halina, wave. You can reach out to her, DTM Halina Indra. Or our incoming VPE, Lorna Holman. Lorna. Plus our incoming secretary. Oh, who is our secretary? Jane Ting. And of course, Miranda, Rumi, Sham, we are all here to support or provide any information you'd like to know about TNC. With that, I would like to commence our meeting tonight with meeting tonight and by inviting our Toastmaster of the meeting, or we call it MC, Shamini Shiva, aka Sham, to the virtual stage. Over to you, Sham, please.
Thank you, Madam President Shalina He. Welcome, everybody. Good evening and greetings from India. So it's good to see all of you from different parts of the world. This is so unique to Trainers and Coaches Advanced Online, where we have very senior and also accomplished Toastmasters in this club. And I'm very happy to be finally a member of this club, thanks to the goodwill of some members here. Yes, so today we're going to have two sessions. One is the center stage, which is such a big part of Trainers and Coaches Advanced Toastmasters Club. It's a platform where the members can showcase their presentation skills for a longer period. Now, for today, if you haven't actually read who our speaker is going to do, who is going to take the center stage, let me enlighten all of you. The speaker is a distinguished diplomat representing the government of South Africa. As a heavyweight speaker and initiate coach, he leverages his expertise to empower individuals both locally and globally in mastering the art of public speaking and leadership. He's a global citizen. He's an entrepreneur. He's a coach. He's a DTM, 6 times DTM. Can you imagine? Right? And he has this knack, like I think he gave a session on how to charter new clubs in Toastmasters. And I'll always remember when he said that just bringing people who have common interests, that makes for a good way to charter a club, because then they have something to resonate with their fellow members, right? Such a common sense, simple thing, but we don't think about it. So yes, let me present to you our keynote speaker for today, the distinguished Toastmaster Eric Kaila, with his topic, Volunteer to Inspire Club Leadership. strategies to end the Toastmaster year on a high note and to start the new Toastmasters year on a higher note. Eric Kyler, the stage is yours.
Eric, you are muted.
Kate Summers said, finish strong and start stronger. Ladies and gentlemen, these words of Kate Summers are very important to Toastmasters members because there are a number of things that are happening in a Toastmasters club that forces us to finish strong, but at the same time, that forces us to start on a stronger note. This might include transitions in leadership. This might include celebrations in clubs. This might include organizational things that forces us to organize certain events for the club. There's a number of things that happens at the end of a Toastmasters year. It is not just we are done, it's over. About 5 years ago, I was a member of a club in South Africa, Sandton. This club, ladies and gentlemen, was a very powerful club. It had over 30 members. But that year when we started, the membership disappeared. We only had about 5 members in the club, from 30 to 5 members. It was devastating. The question was, what wrong did we do? That when on the 30th of June, there were only 30 members. And come the 1st of July, we had only 5 members that attend our meetings. That means we did not end strong enough. We did end strong, even if it was not enough. But we could not start stronger. So the two worlds were not balancing. On the 30th and on the 1st, and if we can look at it, it is only 24 hours different. Only 24 hours different. But it worked in our favor. Towards the end of the Toastmasters year. Why? Because we were forced to implement strategies that are going to turn the whole situation around. Which did happen, ladies and gentlemen. We did turn the strategy, the things around. I remember on December, we already had over 10 members. But by March, we managed to lose them all again. We were back to 5 members when we renewed our membership on the 1st of April. And that year, ladies and gentlemen, on the 30th of June, the following year, we could not make our DCPs. We could not even reach 12 members. The club was forced to have a coach that will help us to regain our strength, to regain our membership strength of 30, and to be the club that was known as an advanced club. Come 30th of June, ladies and gentlemen, nothing, as I've said, happened again the following year. That club, ladies and gentlemen, died. It was closed because it could not sustain itself. A strong club from 30 to a club which is dead. So it happens to many people, not just to us, ladies and gentlemen. It happens to many people. It happens to many clubs. But unfortunately, most people and districts don't learn the proper lessons. The same with us in District 74. We did not learn the lesson that goes into ending strong and starting stronger. In fact, some other people will say ending with flair and starting with fire. Other people will even take it a little bit further. They will say finishing on a high note and starting with a bang. Look, most of the time, we think we are right because luck came our way in Toastmasters. Luck just popped and we celebrate, which is fine. We're supposed to celebrate. But I always say we need to be intentional when we push success of a club. And that intentionality comes from leadership. And leadership, ladies and gentlemen, is all about inspiring club members to become club leaders. Leadership is your ability to inspire members to be leaders. Look, we have elected the EXCO today. Congratulations to the new incoming EXCO, the elected one. But here's the point. What about the others? Remember, out of a club of 20 people, only 7 become part of the EXCO. Only 7. What about the 13 that remain? What's going to happen to them? And that is where the mistake is, ladies and gentlemen. The 13 that remains, they will be sitting idling, giving speeches here and there, and forgetting that they are Toastmasters, and disappear. 6 months later, we don't have members. A year later, we struggle of members because the 13 were ignored, and the 7 became the most important people in the club. Let me tell you, there was another club that I was a member of. It was called the Forum Men's Toastmasters Club. It was only for men. There were no women in the club. They were not allowed. Until today, it's like that. That club had a very strong culture of building leaders. I'm happy I became a member of that club because, as I always say, we were doing leadership man to man. We were punching man to man. And we were calling out what's wrong to be what's wrong. We were calling a spade a spade. And we have to take it as a man. Now, in that club, that is what I have learned. That when you finish a Toastmasters year, there are 3 things that needs to happen for a Toastmasters year to end on a high note. The first one, it is what we have done today to choose a leadership that will lead the club, elect them. Electing them is always a crisis and a process. And that crisis and process might break or build a club. Let's be honest with that. It might break or build a club. I'll give you an example. Some members really want to be part of the EXCO, but they were not informed about the process of becoming part of the EXCO. Then when they open their eyes, it's late. And they become disappointed, disgruntled. They leave the club. So how will you start on a high note if members are disgruntled and leaving the club? That's why people lose people. The second part of it is, now you have your EXCO, then what? According to the rules of Toastmasters, there must be a proper induction ceremony. Apart from the election of the EXCO, apart from them, there must be a second function or event where you will have to officially induct the new EXCO. It is not just an induction. It is a ceremony. It needs to be treated like a special event that will demonstrate to the club members that this club is special. The partners of the new EXCO must also see that, wow, you have committed to a lofty position. They must see it. It must be celebrated. In a special event, they must not be mixed with the elections. They are two different processes. Most clubs don't do that. They just elect, then they wait for 1 July, and then they continue. They attract nobody to the club. And the club suffer severe consequences because it is like this club is only for the EXCO, not even for their members or for the other family members that will be attending. Look, Toastmaster is always a theatrical space for people to perform and to show their good ways of public speaking. But if there is not theater in the dealings of Toastmasters, members don't appreciate what's happening in the club. New people don't see the need to join the club because there's no theater that's happening in the club. There's no performance that happens in the club. The club is dull. And it ends up becoming boring because what they have noticed in their club is also happening in this club. So what's special about this club? Nothing. So the induction ceremony, it helps you to end the year in a very strong or on a very strong footing. The third one, ladies and gentlemen, that really helps is speech marathon. As much as you know that your Toastmasters year came to an end, it does not mean we must just sit and relax. It's not like we are going to say it's over. No, we have to find a way to run speech marathons before the 30th of June so that we can end on a strong note. But at the same time, start stronger, because just imagine what will happen. On the 1st of July, we might already have 4 people who have finished their level 1s of pathways. We might even have people who have finished level 2s by the 1st of July, meaning we can register our awards at the go. As we start, we register. Secondly, How will it help us? It will help us not to struggle. It puts everybody on fire. Come 1st of July, everybody is on fire because we know we have already started what we are going to end. So we start with fire. We end with flare. It must start somewhere and in the beginning of the Toastmasters year. But the proper start, it's now in June. Why? Because we still have the old EXCO. They must still do their work. This election of today does not relieve them from their duties. The president will still remain the president until the 30th of June. That means they must still do their work. The VPE will still remain a VPE until the 30th of June. They must still do their work. The secretary will still remain secretary until the 30th of June. Meaning we still have 3 weeks to go. 3 solid weeks to go where we can uplift the spirit of members as an outgoing EXCO. We uplift the spirit of the members so that the new ones must start on a very high note. They must know that at least I already have pathways that have been finished. I already have levels that have been finished. I already have people who are ready to finish their pathways. They must not go and look for people. They must be granted people. So the speech marathon will also allow you to bring in new members from outside to come and help inside the club and to build this club and make it a very powerful club. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, we need to find a balancing act as a club and a strategy to end stronger. Now, this strategy will help us. I have seen it happening in the club that I told you, that we call it the Diamonds Advanced Club. That club, the problem of that club was very simple. It was a heartbreaking problem. The problem was there was no urgency in trying to build the new leaders. Everybody felt it's over. I'm tired. Let's just stop here. I remember the secretary of the club back then said, and that was painful when I heard him saying that, it's no need for us to go for DCPs anymore because we have a new EXCO. Let's just stop here. And we had 2 weeks to go when he said those words. Let's just stop here. And everything stopped there. The new EXCO came, it was already tired. It was demoralized. It did not have energy. It had nothing. That lesson really touched me, ladies and gentlemen. It made me think about club leadership. What can we do to take members to another level? Now, let me come back to this point. Club leadership is for everybody in the club, everybody across the board. And it is the duty of the Vice President Education to ensure that every member have a leadership duty and role to execute. Every member. No member must remain idling in the club. We have to look for opportunities and create them if they are not there. Because as a Toastmaster, we are all leaders. The moment you join Toastmasters and you deliver your first speech, you are a leader. Why do I say so? Because you are going to work on a project. Your icebreaker is a project. So the moment you start your project and you complete it and you deliver that 4 to 6 minutes speech of yours as an icebreaker speech, it is a project complete. That means you have mastered the art of leadership. We can call you a project leader. with your icebreaker only. So such a person can become a leader. Such a person can be given duties in the club to execute. Committees can be formed and ask such people to lead the committees so that they can hang in the club longer and bring in more members. Because the more they grow, the more people will see that this club is doing well. Everybody is doing well. And they will admire to become members of this club. It is leadership. In fact, according to Bill Clinton's wife, I've forgotten her name, Bill Clinton's wife. Bill Clinton's wife say, leadership is the ability to take somebody from where he is to where he's supposed to be. Hillary Clinton, thank you. Hillary Clinton say, leadership is the ability of taking somebody from where they are to where they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be here, but they are here without them knowing that they're supposed to be here. Now, what's the point? The point here is, if you are able to volunteer yourself to inspire people to become club leaders, you are a true leader. We need to find a way to volunteer ourselves, to inspire other people, to become leaders in their own corners, in their own right, within the club, so that the leadership in them can shine and become light to this world. If we can do that, we are leaders. But if you can't do that, we need to question your own leadership. Why can't I, as Eric Gaila, inspire people to become club leaders? The moment you can do that, you are a good candidate to become a district leader. Why? Because you are not doing things alone. And you are not doing things for people, but you are inspiring people to do things and lead by themselves. Those type of people are the true leaders. Ladies and gentlemen, I strongly believe in creating visions for clubs, especially towards the end. As I have said, and as I'm summarizing, in your leadership transition journey as a club, ensure that you inspire people to want to become leaders in their own right. As you build events for the club, even an induction event for the club, ensure that it inspires the club and their family members of the new leaders and the people who want to become part of this club. Just make sure that it inspires them. Because the moment they get inspired around you, they will want to become members of the club and they will want duties. They will want to work. An idling mind is the devil's, I don't know what, but something about the devil is there with an idling mind. That's why we lose members. The last part, ladies and gentlemen, celebrate success of people. Celebrate it. Don't be jealous. Don't be jealous. Look, we have achieved 10 DCP points. 10 out of 10 as TNC Club. Okay, how many people have been celebrated? How many have been celebrated, have been recognized, have been awarded for their achievement? How many of those people? That's the question we need to ask. I see we have about 5 level 1s of pathways. Have we celebrated the people who gave us the level 1s? The level 2s, we have 2 of them. Have we celebrated them? Level 3, we have 2 of them. Have we celebrated them? The question is, if we don't celebrate, nothing gets repeated. If we don't recognize people, the actions that they took to achieve the goal will not be repeated. So at least we have 3 weeks to go. We have 3 weeks to go before the 30th of June, where we can celebrate these people, recognize them, thank them, get them excited, so that they must have the energy to come back on the 1st of July and say, I want to do more. I want to build TNC. So the TNC must become the best club in the whole world. Why? Because members get celebrated, members get recognized, members get awards from the club itself. They don't wait for district or for division to recognize them and award them. The club is taking full responsibility for its members. I always believe that in my journey as a Toastmasters and in all my achievements, DTM 6, I'm about to be 7. It all came with a vision. The vision always starts now. Like it's June now. What is my vision for the 30th of June next year? What do I want to see happening? I'm going to repeat it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to repeat my vision with you. The next conference of District 87, my vision is to at least give 3 DTMs to TNC Club. That's my vision. That's mine, my personal one. I think TNC will be the first club in the world to have somebody who gives them 3 DTMs in 1 year. That's my vision. And that type of vision, ladies and gentlemen, does not come easy. It needs to be looked after. It needs to be nourished. It needs to be inspired by other members. It needs to be worked on all the time until it comes to fruition. So what is your vision? What is your vision as a member for the club that will make you a club leader by your own standards and your own right? What is that vision? What do you want to give to TNC? Think about it. What's that big goal that you want to give to TNC? If you can do that now, before the 30th of June, on the 1st of July, you will be starting stronger, the same way Kate Summers have said. She said, finish strong, ladies and gentlemen, and start stronger. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Wow. Finish strong and start stronger. Isn't that an injection of empowerment from distinguished Toastmaster Eric Hyla for all of us, and so timely because some of us have been I've been elected for the next term's club of as a club officer, as club officers. So very timely indeed. It's not just the exco, but everybody needs to be part of the club and to be leaders who influence. Yeah, influence. It's as I think it was Peter Drucker who said, or was it John C. Maxwell who said, leadership is influence, influence is leadership, nothing more, nothing less. So that's it for you, that wonderful center stage keynote speech by Eric Hyla. So ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the center stage. We now have a 5-minute break, Madam President. Yes. So please do come back according to the agenda.
Sorry.
Please come back. Yep.
Maybe we can allow 5 minutes of any questions. If anyone have any question,
okay.
we can afford that. Yeah.
All right. Questions, anybody?
Not really a question, actually a statement. Yeah, I really like the last part when you said that the members also should think about what is their vision for TNC, what do they want to contribute. That's very inspiring. Thank you.
I don't have a question, but I have a comment to make, and this is directly to Eric Kyler. Eric, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I can't hear you, Eric. Yeah,
yes,
I just want.
yes,
I want to thank you for the center stage session because I thought it was electric. And why do I say it was electric? Because you did not lecture. There's a good training for all of us because you showed us through examples. Now, Eric, if you take the short form of lecture, LECT, out of electric, what do you get?
Eric.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. So that explains everything. Eric, so thank you so much for that highly inspiring and highly insightful session. Yeah, thank you. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I have one question.
So much.
Eric, I have one question. It's like, when you say all members have to be they're all leaders, right? Not just the EXCO. How can the EXCO or the leadership engage the members to be active? Can you give a couple of examples how you have done in your clubs?
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. See, when you are an EXCO member, let's take the Vice President Education. I'm going to talk about the Vice President Education because I think I was about 8 times a Vice President of Education. So that makes me very special. You know, I've done it over and over because I love it. You know, that is where I've learned my leadership. That is where I've learned how to deal with people, how to work with people, how to beg people. You know, as a leader, you must have a very nice way of begging. If you can't beg, just stay away from VP. So here is the point. In Toastmasters, every EXCO position is a leadership position. And every leader must lead a team. So I'll give you an example. If you are a VPE, you are not the VPE because you are a VPE and a VPE alone. The moment you think you and you only alone are the VPE, that is where you are wrong. You are not a leader. Your leadership lack. But if you are a VPE and you come up with at least a team that will work with you, we call it committees. You need to create a committee from people who are non-EXCO members, at least 1 or 2 people who will work with you as a VPE. Those people will be in the shadow working with you. It's your team. So that is what we call teamwork. You create members to become better leaders than you because they will see what you are doing. And as you are doing things, they become better than you. The second part is there are positions like the Vice President Public Relations. Position of public relations, the same applies. You can't do this public relations duties alone. You need about 2 people to help you. I mean, we meet twice a month as TNC Club. Who have time to always do public relations duties every month in and out? But if you have a team, you can share the work, you can lead your team. Now and then you don't even have to do the work. The team will do the work. Your job is to remind them. Because that is leadership now. You see, once you start doing the work yourself, you are no more a leader. But once you can inspire people to do the work and to complete it successfully, then you are a leader. You are a great leader because you can take people from where they are to where they're supposed to be, and they will do it successfully. So that makes you the best leader. Now, in a Toastmasters club, according to Toastmasters, that is where we learn all these strategies, ladies and gentlemen. That is why we learn all the strategies, so that you do not do the work yourself. You don't do the work. That is the best way. Don't do the work yourself. Let the team do the work, and you will be getting the credit for the work. But unfortunately, because our leadership lacks, we have to do the work ourselves. There's nothing wrong. Do the work yourself until you find a team that can do the work according to the way you have strategized it. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you so much, Eric. It definitely does. Okay, so Madam President, shall we have a break? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, let's give another round of applause for Eric Kaila.
Electric Eric.
Yeah, and ladies and gentlemen, you can take a break for now, and please do come back after 5 minutes. So, yeah, exactly at 8:45.
What time? I'm
Bali time.
Bali time.
Hi, Sham. So you are in India now?
Yep.
Bengaluru.
I mean, this is a time when I miss being in Malaysia, because like when you all had the conference, it's so near yet so far.
Oh, so you're in India for the conference.
No. Yeah, I mean, I've been here for a long time. Only last year I went to Malaysia actually.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yep. So this is my base now, though Malaysia
Mm.
is home, but this is my base. Jay's here.
Ah, yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to working with you, Harlina.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting, especially when we have to think about meetings and so on. Yeah.
Yep. But I think that we've got a very good foundation, so
Mhm.
we just have to build on it.
Okay. Yeah.
So I would like to know your expectations of what my role should be about.
Ooh. Well, I think at least well, before we do that, let's ask we have a guest here, I think, and
Okay.
Solist. Yes.
Hi,
Hi,
Inda.
and
Good to see you again. Inda was there for the
which,
training, the trainers and coaches. The training for presenter to trainer.
Yes.
Yeah,
oh
Inda.
yes, indeed, yes.
So good.
Which club do you
So,
belong to? And
Pardon?
which
which club?
are you're already a Toastmaster or not yet?
Yes, I'm a Toastmasters.
Which club?
I was joined Toastmaster in February this year.
Oh, which club?
Yeah.
Magical Bali Toastmaster.
Oh, okay.
Wonderful. Yes, yes. So, oh yeah, it's Friday, isn't it?
Yes, Friday
Yes.
evening.
Melinda's other club.
So,
Yes.
why are you interested to join the meetings in this club?
I like learning. I like to learn something new. And when I was get information about advanced trainer, means in my mind, I just, oh, maybe it's good for me to get knowledge farther than before, because before just presenter to trainer, and in the leaflet I can say trainers advanced. So yeah, okay, I want to know and just want to join.
Good to have
Thank
you
you
here,
so
Inda.
much. Thank you so much. Yes,
Is Dr. Ranko here? Yeah.
Yep.
No.
Dr. Ranko say he is having dinner with clients, but he just listen
okay.
in, he can't speak.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Eric, are you there? I have a very quick question for you before the time's up. 1 minute. Eric, are you there?
Not there.
Eric, not there. Otherwise, I will do it later. Because for me, I hope to, because the Q&A was supposed to be 10 minutes, but because the time went through, sorry, the center stage going to be over time, so we left with very minimum time. And also today we didn't have a timer, and I realized that at the last minute, so that's why my time was a bit 5 minutes out. Eric, are you there?
Or maybe he's having a break.
Yeah, I hope he will stay till the end of the meeting so I can post that question later during your session, Helena.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Right.
are you going to take a leadership role in Magical Bali?
I don't know. I just want to learn right now and I haven't decided anything yet.
Mm.
If there's opportunity, just go for it. Don't think, don't overthink, just go for it. And every time you learn something, you learn along the way, whatever. What is the worst?
The secret, yes, the secret is either become secretary or even treasurer. Treasurer, you're only busy twice a year. Well, kind of. Unless you have a credit card.
Oh,
But nowadays, people.
Eric said he's called to the office for something and can't come to the.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, back to you, TOM.
Thank you, Madam President. Welcome back, everybody, and good to have you here for the next session after the break. And hope you had a little bit of a breather, maybe a drink, or maybe you just had to take a bio break. Yep. So the next session is about, it's going to be a speech by someone who has something in common with me because we both did our BSc in botany and zoology. Yay, Lorna. And Dr. Lorna Holtman is an aspiring trainer and coach, a facilitator and lecturer, and a certified reinvention practitioner. And she will be presenting her speech now. Now, one thing she likes to do is help youngsters on their career path and upskill themselves. So she's got a lot going for her with a load of experience behind her, and she hails from South Africa. So let's listen to our speaker, Lorna Holtman, with her speech, Back to My Roots. Back to My Roots, Lorna Holtman.
Have you ever felt this deep yearning to discover where you truly come from? As a person growing up in South Africa, where I became a citizen for the first time when I was 28 years old because of my mixed heritage. And I'm sure many of you understand that, if you understand what apartheid was about. To peel back the layers of this identity of mine and to find the roots that are part of my very being. That was the quest that I was on. I had no idea when I was leaving for Malaysia that those were the feelings that would emerge. I was going to a Toastmasters conference. I was not going to check out my DNA roots. However, the land that I visited was rich in culture and enjoying the traditional dances and food made me yearn. If I was sitting in the room and people were looking for the African woman, for the lady from South Africa, and I don't think they thought it was me. Because when they met me in South Africa, and it made me, think deeper about my DNA roots. But at the same time, as I said, I came there to understand Toastmasters better. And so the foundational roots of Toastmasters is what I was also yearning to understand. Ladies and gentlemen, in essence, I had time at the conference as it unfolded to really reconsider my perspective on three main aspects, namely my heritage, my personal growth, which is why I came to the conference. Obviously, I was aligning with the goals of Toastmasters. And what Eric has just told us now, he put a lot of emphasis on leadership development, which I think is one of the main issues that Toastmasters brings to the fore. So if I were to look at rediscovering my heritage, my trip to Malaysia was more than just a vacation. It was also the first time in 5 years that I had traveled internationally. I met quite a few interesting people on the airplane. And, you know, also walking through the streets of KK with Dora and Miranda and the ladies I see online, and some new other people that I didn't know, and visiting the night market with Dora, I felt immediate connection. The aromas of the street food, drinking coconut, I think coconut water, I think it is, barley drinks, even drinking, or is it eating, chicken wine. Those sort of brought up lots of feelings and emotions. I also was so impressed at the night of the cultural evening, the opening evening of the conference, where there were the traditional dances and music, but it was the warmth of the people that I sat with and the people I met during the conference that resonated deeply with me. Talking to these people, talking about these stories, and for me at the conference, I discovered stories of perseverance, stories of unity, and I could identify with those. They were not tales of the past, as they say, but they allowed me to reflect a little bit on my heritage. And since I share some DNA with the wider Asian region, and I'd say thank you to the fact that we were colonized many, many centuries ago for that, because I got to feel what it means to belong when I was at the conference. So it gave me a profound sense of belonging and a clearer vision of who I am. Sorry for that. But we also go through paths of personal growth, and I had to break out of my comfort zone at the conference, because at the opening evening, I was dancing with strangers. That was an experience for me. And if you know me well, you would know that is way out of my comfort zone. However, there was one little problem. I could not go on the stage and dance. There was a session where groups had to go on the stage. I was notably absent from group 1. Yes, that is where I was supposed to be. And if you look at the video, you'll see it was a really small group, because I think quite a few people were absent in that group. Maybe for the same reason I was absent. But each new experience I took at the conference, or the steps I took, helped me to self-discovery. I noted the cultural diversity in the room during cultural evening, and I realized that exploring my own roots wasn't just about looking back. It was about growing forward as well. These lessons have been invaluable in shaping my character since I returned from the conference. Interestingly, my trip also helped me to appreciate the roots of Toastmasters, founded on principles of like personal development, leadership, like Eric was talking about, and much like the values I encountered in Malaysia. The mission is to empower individuals to become effective in their leadership, in their communication, and that resonated with me. Just as Toastmasters meetings provide us with a safe space to practice and grow, the communities representing District 87 at the conference in Malaysia demonstrated the power of collective support and shared learning. And witnessing the district level speeches and table topics, that really inspired me to the point that I've already almost planned my meeting and my going to Badung in 2025 for the next conference. And I plan to, I've already got two who are interested because I've been inspired by people like our new DTMs, and I aspire to have one of those one day. So Badung 2025, here I come. I urge each of us to embark on this journey, looking back to our roots, whether it's exploring a heritage or challenging yourself with new experiences, or even delving deeper into the principles and things we can achieve in Toastmasters. I urge you to take that step and promote the club as well, and to embrace your roots, because your roots are your anchors. In other words, they keep you grounded and they're the compass for you to go forward in life. My question remains, have you ever felt a deep yearning to discover where you truly come from and to understand these roots? Just as a tree grows stronger with deep, healthy roots, so do we. And let us cherish our roots, learn from them, let them inspire us to greater heights, whether it's in our personal lives or as Eric has urged us to do in Toastmasters. Let us focus on those. Back to my roots. Back to you, MC of the day.
Thank you, Lorna, for that heartwarming and very authentic and very slightly emotional speech where you shared something that was very close to you, and it's so nice to hear you talk about all this. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's Lorna Holtman with Back to Her Roots. And I'm sure it makes all of us think about actually where do we come from? Especially some of us who've been traveling around and maybe we're like nomads, there's no madness like no madness, they say. So yes, the Shalina is enjoying that. Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, is Eric is supposed to evaluate, or is that off the agenda?
Obviously he did not realize it. So may I invite Jai? Could you kindly give
So you want him to go on with the TTM or to give something?
What am I supposed to do? Sorry.
Are you able to give a quick feedback on Lorna's speech? Lorna, did you want evaluator, Lorna? Just want to confirm.
I don't mind. I love growing from getting feedback. So it's whatever, comments or feedback is fine.
Okay, I think Halina has something to say. Yeah, Halina, go ahead.
Please, go ahead.
Yes, indeed, I would like to thank Toastmaster Lorna for a very nice, entertaining speech in which you mentioned about your experiences in the convention. On one hand, I was wondering, you were first looking for your roots, and then people did not really recognize you as somebody from South Africa, but then you understood that it's a different roots that you were looking for, and it turns out to be Toastmasters roots, a place where you can belong, and that is why you gave as example the trips with Dora and other Toastmasters. So I think if you focus on those two, I think it's already more than enough that you have a feeling of belonging in the thing. Because I was also looking forward to what about the roots in the end? You were also looking for your roots in Malaysia. I mean, ethnic roots, isn't it? Like you said, what are you going to do at the end? Are you going to, do you say, oh yeah, I didn't really find what I was looking for when it comes to ethnic, but I found a different kind of roots. I mean, that is the only thing that I would like to have as a, a beginning, middle, and ending. So I know I was like, oh yeah, yeah, it's about roots, about sense of belonging. But as for, or maybe if you prefer that your speech is focused on your experiences, you can say, oh yeah, I had lots of experiences. Yeah, and that is, so I was a bit wondering, is it more about the roots, about the belonging, or is it about, hey guys, you should go to a conference. It's really something where you can have a sense of belonging, where you can really grow. And I have a feeling that it's more that thing, the sharing of experiences. I think Enda might be even interested after listening to your speech to go to Bandung, the conference in Bandung, 2025. So I have more the feeling that it goes that way. If you are wondering in what way would you like to give the speech? In what way do you want to lead the speech? Just put in one sentence. What do you think is the message of the speech in one sentence? But I do love going back to your roots and then you discovered something different, that you belong somewhere, that you have found your roots but in a different way. That's actually very beautiful. Thank you very much. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Harlina. Wow, you've been really listening very closely. Amazing. And you weren't even the actual evaluator. So well done on that. Yes. So we finished with that impromptu evaluation as well, which is very good. Yes, I'd like to go on to the next session for today, which is the table topic session, and table topics is always a bit different with trainers and coaches advanced. Our table topics master is someone who's returning as a member to trainers and coaches advanced. He was one of the charter members. He is, like Eric Hyla, he'd like to consider himself a global citizen. And he's a trainer, coach, author, and he loves meeting people. He loves music. And that's one of the things that we have in common, music. It's probably why we got together. And he likes to make people laugh. And he likes to laugh as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, our table topics master for today is none other than my sometimes better half, Jay Narayan.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the evening, or, well, whatever time it is in your part of the world. My table topics will revolve around Eric Kyler's center stage session, well, primarily based on a lot to do with leadership and some of the things that he shared with us today in what was a very engaging session indeed. So thank you again, Eric. I'm going to now pick on Charlena as my first volunteer. Well, you're voluntold. I'm picking on you. So Charlena, can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
All right. I know you're not keeping too well, but this is going to probably pick your brains a bit. Now, Eric Kyler began his presentation with the statement that you finish strong and you start stronger. However, I would like you to flip that around, Charlena. As a trainer or a coach, when you enter a room full of trainees, how can you start strong and finish stronger? Can you share some tips with us? How would you start a training strong and finish it stronger? Charlena.
In a room of strangers, it is not easy. From my personal experience, I either start with some sort of a kind of statement like easy, relaxing jokes. That from my personal experience, depending on the audience. If audience is from my similar background culture, then I will use the dialects to approach that question or that kind of statements to create some sort of environment for them to relax. That being said, for me, I find it hardest is to be in this zone where I live in, because they are more serious people. And some of you know that the local people sometimes they cannot be so receptive to jokes, or even to something that is more like just a related statement. As such, for me, it's really look at the crowd. If I come to a crowd that who is not really relaxed, I basically say, oh, did we all have a long day? Let's stand up and stretch. And I always like to play this particular exercise. Put your hands together. Okay, keep, everybody follow me, do that. Right, all now, everybody pay attention. All right, touch your hair. Everybody touch your hair. And then please continue, everyone. Keep going, keep rubbing your hand. Now touch your ears. Everybody will touch the ears and do like now. Continue, guys. Everybody, please keep going. Keep your hand going. Touch your chin. And I put my hand on the cheeks. Everybody will follow. Most people will follow the cheek. And I'll say, where is the chin? Move my hand down to the chin. And that's how I find that it's amazing way to get them to realize, oh yeah, my chin is not on my left and right, it's under my mouth. So that was the typical exercise I do, and find it every time I do that, it is quite effective, and it kind of bring back attention. I don't know, there are other people have other ways, but for me, I'm a so visual person. I use something more visual. Over to you. So ladies and gentlemen, there is no specific way of doing this. You just have to understand your audience and try it. And sometimes you get it right. Sometimes it may be just mediocre, but most of the time you learn something regardless. So over to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you so much, Shalina. You got to know your audience. And I guess that if they're a room full of strangers, it can be nerve-wracking indeed. I know how that feels, because you don't know what's going to unfold. And until, some time has elapsed. Great sharing, and kind of sounded a bit like a Tony Robbins session towards the end. All that, put your hands up in the air and all the rah-rah stuff, but good stuff. Very energizing, by the way. Thank you. My second speaker, Table Topics for 2 minutes.
Jane.
Jane, which Jane is
Jane
this?
Ting.
Jane Ting.
Oh, she's not there. Okay.
All right. Jane Moore?
No.
She's also not there anymore. Arlena. Arlena, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All righty, Arlena, an aspiring trainer or a coach yourself, but you can interpret my question any way you want. Eric Kyler also mentioned, I think somewhere towards the beginning of his speech, that you end with flair and you begin with fire. Actually, I kind of love that. You end with flair and you begin with fire. Now, my question to you, Arlena, is how can you infuse or include some flair, F-L-A-I-R, and fire in a training or a coaching session? If you have an experience or some idea you'd like to share, how do you infuse flair and fire into a training session?
It's a very interesting question. Yeah, how can I infuse some fire? Some people, they do it with discussions groups, but it takes time, I think. For example, you have a question, a certain statement that you want people, or a certain problem that you give, and then you put people in groups and they can discuss about for 5 minutes, and then one of them should be appointed as their spokesperson. They can report. That is one way how to do it. Or this is a little bit chaotic, I think, yeah. Or you can ask them to do to go in pairs and have a kind of a role play. But that's a bit, yeah, that's more as how you can do it. Somebody did a role play in the front of the others, so they had 2 volunteers, and after the well, the trainer first gave a theory, and then he asked for 2 volunteers and asked them to act it out. But that's a bit of a risk. But then again, if you have 2 volunteers who are very enthusiastic, it can be a great, and can create interesting result. And then the trainer can invite the audience to comment on the interaction before the trainer gives his own conclusion. So that could also be one way how to make it more interactive for the audience, at least to make it more to make the audience more enthusiastic for the training materials. Back to you, Table Topic Master.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing, Arlene. I love that part about actually in introducing role play sessions where you also get the audience to participate in giving whatever feedback on based on what they observe. Those are very effective ways to do it. And I guess you could infuse some fire into your sessions by doing that. I'm not very certain who is in and who is out. I'll be very honest with all of you today. Of course, I'm blind. But more and more I ask for names. My wife tells me they're not here. They're not here. So I don't know who is in and who is out. So I'm just going to randomly call out names. I don't even know if Miranda is here or not. So,
I think
yeah, Miranda is not there. Lorna, can you hear me from Cape Town?
Yes, Jai, I'm here.
Yeah, I'm speaking loud so you can hear me in Cape Town. I'm in South India. Lorna, your topic again, based on what Eric Kyler shared with us today. And he said, leadership is actually about trying to get your club members to aspire to become leaders themselves. In his presentation, he mentioned that. So even as EXCO members, every member, he said, was a leader. However, my topic to you is, are you a trainer right now, Lorna? Are you a coach or a trainer?
More coach, yeah.
You're more a coach. Good enough, yeah. Now, Lorna, my topic is, as a coach, what tips can you share with us where you could get your coachee or the person, your protege, whoever you're working with, your client, to actually aspire to become a leader? Is there anything you could do to get them to think to become leaders themselves? What could you do?
Well, I usually work with pretty young people, early 30s, and they don't always see themselves as leaders. They are good followers. They're very good followers. But I try to make them understand that they are growing their skills for a future position as a visible leader, but that they start with self-leadership. So I put a lot of emphasis on self-leadership and developing the skills around self-leadership. For example, can you still hear me, Jay? Because I know my internet is unstable. Okay. So I put a lot of emphasis on self-leadership. I work with them on what I use a tool called a stellar canvas, and we plot the end outcomes. We plot the end outcomes in ranges so that if they achieve the lower end of a range in a particular skill, then they feel they've achieved. So there in itself success. Then I urge them to always work with other people and help others to go forward in life, because there's no need for us to be self-centered, even if we're only looking at self-leadership at that point. So I work a lot on those micro skills instead of with younger people, the big leadership issues. But then, of course, one gives them the big picture first. What is your goal in 5 to 10 years time, and so on. And then we break it down into first self-leadership and slowly develop their leadership skills. Thank you.
Wow. Lorna, thank you so much. I love that. I love some parts of it, especially the getting the big picture out first and getting them to actually compress that or break it down to detailed picture. So I guess from a big picture orientation, they go to a detailed picture, I guess, strategy, if I understood you correctly. And the fact that you get them to also help others, I love that part, because I guess that's leadership, is it not, Lorna? When you can get others to actually grow, that's leadership, right? It's not about your own growth. It's about your people's growth. Yeah, the people, the followers. You mentioned followers, right? So I might just want to be able to squeeze in one more topic. Is that time available?
No, but there's no one to speak.
Oh, I can just get some volunteer.
No, there's no one here who is online. They've left.
Everybody's left?
Yes.
There is one person left, actually. The person
Who is
next
that?
to you.
All right, I'm going to call out that person next to me who is in the co-pilot.
Alina, thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. So this pilot, who is the commander of this table topic session, to my co-pilot who's sitting next to me, my question is actually interesting. And that is, Dr. John C. Maxwell once commented or said that a leader knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. I'll repeat that. A leader knows the way, he goes the way, and he shows the way. So, Sharmini, how could you incorporate this or map it to coaching or training? Yeah.
Very interesting. From what I understand from the question, and I think what Dr. John C. Maxwell said, I would say that you have to walk the talk first before you can actually expect anyone to follow you or, to emulate what you want from them. What you want them to feel or feel like leaders, right? So you got to be a leader first. And I take this example when I was a club president a few years ago, and what I liked being a VPPR a lot because I like to play around with designs and all these kind of things. So when I was club president, the VPPR was really bad at design and art, and I was thinking, oh my God, it would be so much easier if I just went in and did the work myself. But that was not actually being a leader, because being a leader means growing other leaders, right? So I just stopped myself from being micromanaging, and I just encouraged him to do, just taught him, guided him a bit, and encouraged him to express himself. He did a pretty decent job. Now, it's not what I would think fantastic, but it was not about how perfect or good it was, the designs or the posters he made for the club, but it was that he was learning, and he was willing to learn, and he was willing to practice, like when he was willing to help me, assist me, or rather take instruction and guidance from me. And that I thought was so wonderful. And he grew, and I grew as a leader by keeping my mouth shut most of the time, and not getting into his way of growth. So I think you know the way. I knew the way, and I did it. I have done it as a VPPR, but also showed the way to him, and that's all that matters, because I sure also saw a growth for me, because you grow when you actually teach, right? As many of us as trainers and coaches realize that we really grow when we teach. So I think that was an eye-opener for me about being a leader, because until I can, practice some self-leadership within myself and stop micromanaging, only then could I actually lead. So back to you, Table Topics Master.
All right. So yeah, well expressed indeed, Sharmini. I'm going to wrap up and my session here with just one comment. Picking up from what Sharmini just shared, that is, it's not always about perfection. It's sometimes about progress. And that's all that matters in life, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. I thoroughly enjoyed the session. And I'm going to hand it back to Madam Toastmaster of the evening, day, afternoon, morning, wherever you are in the world. Back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Topics Master. Now, that was an interesting session. And thank you, Harina, for putting me in the line of fire.
And flair.
And flair. See. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, that ends our table topic session. And we learned, from all the speakers, we learned a little bit from all of them, I'm sure. Yes. And we come to the penultimate, or the last part of this today's session, which is the moderation, which is going to be done by someone who, like me, loves dogs, especially Shih Tzus. And I remember her as the vice president of education when I was, when Jay was a member here, and, she was like a very enthusiastic and a vice president of VPE. And she's like sometimes so chilled and so cool, you really don't know what's going on in her, and then she comes out in these bombastic ideas, like you've never heard before, like she's like listening and coming up with a different trend of thought. So yes, I know who I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, our incoming president of Toast Traders and Coaches Advance. Let me invite Harlina to moderate, if possible, this session on Eric Hyla's center stage. Harlina, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much, for giving me the floor. And tonight I will be moderating the kind of a roundtable discussions in which we will discuss about how Eric Kaila has actually delivered his speech. It's not just about the content, but more about the delivery. What do you think about his delivery? Or if you were going to conduct a workshop on the same subject, would you also deliver it in the same way? Even though he has a kind of a time limit, yeah, he cannot speak too long. Would you do the same, or what would you do differently? And what can we actually learn from how he delivered his training today? And who would like to start first? What did you like about his presentation, or what would you think could be even better? Who would like to try? Maybe Sharina?
Did Joy or Sean wanted to say something?
Yeah, I think they are. I think I want to keep them for last
Okay. All right.
because
cool.
I did already mention something before the break. So
So I was really inspired by the speech of Eric. And one thing that I realized I didn't do well, very specifically from that speech, as a club president, I did not go through the club election process by inviting all members to put their name forward. Yep. Despite the fact that I go and contact individual members to ask them one by one, that got me to think about the second bit. In the advanced club, my personal struggle, this is why I like to ask Eric at the same time. Now, Eric is not here, but please, I like your input as well. This is one thing that has been oscillating since I heard his message. In the advanced club, most members are advanced members. Most members are professional workers, coaches like ours, or other specializations or other skills. They are either business or entrepreneurs or something. It's quite, for my personal experience, it's quite hard for me to approach each and everyone, say, hey, can you do a project? Are you able to come to the meeting? Because they have so other prior engagement between work life and Toastmaster meetings. How do we inspire them? Help me, because this is my point I got stuck every time. How do we inspire them? I can inspire those people I work with because they are paid to do a great job. So they will deliver whatever. But this is not the same environment. How do we inspire them?
it's like I get your point, especially what is a bit daunting is this club only meets twice a month, so the schedule should not be too heavy. And still, how could we ask them to be ready for that date, isn't it? Yeah, and how to inspire them.
Yeah.
Can I make a comment, Madam Moderator?
Please do.
Well, one of the things you could try asking, Sharlina, this is directly to your question, is ask people, regardless of their profession, what are they doing well right now in their roles or their profession as a manager, as an insurance agent, whatever it is. It could be any, or even as speakers and trainers and coaches. What are they doing well? And let them talk to you about it. Then you ask them the second question, which is, what do you think they could do better? And when they tell you, all right, I do feel that I could just improve on this area of expertise or this skill or this area of communication or leadership or whatever it could be, once they give you the answer, you could ask them, how do you think a club could support you? One of the biggest ways we could support you is if you could just deliver a speech based on your experience and expertise and what is it you're looking for to improve, we would give you an experienced person to give you feedback on that. Maybe, just maybe, that could entice them or maybe even tempt them to come and deliver a speech that's related to what is close to their heart, Shalina. So I'll repeat that. The two questions are, what are you doing well? What do you think you could do better?
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. And how could we help?
Thank you.
Yeah. That's my take. I mean, I'm sure all of you have your little inputs.
Yes, indeed. We are learning very carefully. I noticed, especially Lorna, because that's actually her task. But Lorna, if you have problems, you just have to tell us.
Yes.
Because sometimes it's time also, yeah, the timing, yeah. So thank you so much, Jay and Shalina. Maybe Lorna has some comments on the way how Eric delivered his speech, or what do you think you would have done if you were Eric?
With the flair that he asked us to sort of infuse into our meetings and our clubs. And what I take from it is that, as an incoming exco, that we need to work tighter, and we need to work with the members and not just as exco alone. Inspire the members to do more. And I was just I have a club meeting tomorrow, of which I'm president here in South Africa. And I took from what he said, and I already implemented a few minutes ago. We have asked members to be there tomorrow to sign the forms, tell them what I want, and stop not being direct, because I'm not very direct, in saying things. So this time I've said to them, if you want to be a bona fide member, you will be there tomorrow at 3 p.m. I had to do that because they take it as optional, when they've committed to a club already. And I diarize this meeting, I diarize tomorrow's meeting, and nothing will stop me from being at the meeting. I'm also not feeling well today, but I came, I did my speech. And I feel sometimes we do need to see it.
Doesn't sound.
We need to see it as work. And if this was a job that you were earning money for, you would turn up. So that's how I see
it. Thank you so much, Lorna. So thank you for
Round robin.
implementing.
Sorry?
Actually, we're sorry, Jay.
No. I was going to comment on something. First of all, I made a comment when Lorna was speaking. At first, to say I'm sorry to hear that she's not keeping well. I was just saying to my partner that she didn't sound she was not well. So she's really, been strong towards the meeting. So yeah, I mean, well done. Who said it?
Shalina also is not well, but
yeah, Shalina already told her she's not well, but Lorna didn't, and now we know that she is. Sorry, Alina, what's your initial question as to what did we think about Eric Heiler's session? Not the content, but the delivery, right?
Well, on one hand, maybe when I notice is actually both Shalina and Lorna actually mentioned about the effect of the speech on them. So
yeah,
to me, it means that the speech is relevant to them. So when it comes to topic and what he mentions, it is very relevant. And even though I think it was quite a lot, so I had to write down which ones it is. I think this is great for a 1-hour seminar.
Yeah, but I just want to make a comment on the delivery, Arlena.
Sorry?
I just want to make a comment on the delivery, not the content. I wanted to say that what I liked and what could have been a little more engaging. Is that all right? Okay. May I?
Yes, the stage is yours.
Yeah, since this is a round robin discussion here, I thought Eric's pacing was very good. He spoke very clearly, always, and with a little bit of that attractive African accent he has. I kind of enjoy that because it makes it so much more attractive in this club with so many different people from different parts of the world. So it's enjoyable. But he spoke clearly. He spoke with great clarity, and he spoke with expertise and experience, and that was very clear in his content and his delivery style. The only comment I have was he could maybe have made it a little more engaging by asking the audience a few more questions every maybe 7 minutes or 10 minutes or so. Where you asked one question, Arlena, you asked was how could we have done it? I would probably have said, have you experienced that in your club? Anybody would like to just share one line or two lines on that? So that you're controlling the flow by keeping the responses short, but you're getting people to answer you. I think he was just speaking throughout the session. So when he gave an example, he could have said, how about you? Anybody has faced that in your club? Do you have a little suggestion? Or have you experienced a challenge? What was your pain point? And when the audience opens up, the whole session becomes a bit more lively and engaging. You connect with them better. But he did a great job. I always love listening to or hearing Eric. So it's a lot to learn from it. That's my takeaway, feedback.
Can I add to that, Helena?
Yes, you
Helena,
can.
yeah. So Eric and Jay are kind of motivational speakers as well. So they have that energy in them, which a speaker like me does not have. So for some of us, it's so important, as Jay said, to actually break it up and engage with the audience because we do not have that much energy. But the only way we can engage the audience is by, connecting with them in some way with questions or getting some yeses and nos, or how many of you have, in the chat, put in the chat like that. Because otherwise it's difficult because not all of us are the same. So I think that as not connected with what he said because he was powerful and he was energetic, but for some of us, we need to think in a different way of how we deliver our training. Back to you, Helena.
Thank you so much. So as a summary, a very relatable speech. If there is some more audience interaction would be even better. If it was from me, I would just focus on inspiring members, not just to be a member, but also maybe aspiring leaders, and also for us EXCO to treat them that way. Who knows, one day they will find it in them to become a leader, or at least like Lorna said, that they can actually lead themselves, self-leadership. I'm really interested in that term. Well, thank you so much for this round table discussions, and I give it back to the Toastmaster of the meeting.
Thank you, Helena, for doing a brilliant job on moderating this session. And I think many of us love to hear all of you speak, even though there are few of us. Yeah, so I'd like to end my time here as Toastmaster of the evening. Thank you for your support. I truly enjoyed the meeting and all your inputs and your participation. It's been great for me to be hosting this meeting. I'd like to now hand it back to our President, Shalina. Shalina?
Thank you so much. Really appreciate all of the role player. Let's give all of them a big round of applause. They are our table topic master. They are our Toastmaster of the meeting or MC. They are our moderator, our speakers as well. Thank you so much for your contribution tonight. And despite we don't have that many numbers, but this meeting has been such amazing experience for me. I learned so much in different aspects. And this is a club. I always see myself growing an inch in my knowledge every time I join this meeting. And I really appreciate all of your input and your contribution. Thank you once again. All of you, let's give us a big round of applause. Before I adjourn the meeting, once again, congratulations to all the incoming Club EXCO for turn 2024/2025. Again, Club President Helena Indra, DTN. Club BPE, Dr. Lorna Hotman. Club, I forgot now, BPE, Just now was BPE, now it's BPM, Toastmaster JMO, and BPPR. Charm is the name. Charm is the game. So now I learned, see, it rhymes. And our treasurer, Su Chen Ong, unfortunately, she has to leave early because she is feeling unwell as well. And our, exactly.
What?
And our club secretary, Jane Ding, who is listening diligently behind the scene while tending to her little one. And our SAA DTM, Miranda Rumi. Thank you all for your dedication, and thank you for putting out your name to serve in the incoming term. And with that, thank you one more time from me personally. And with that, I would like to adjourn the meeting. And I hope
Thank
to
you.
Thank
see
you. I wish both Shalina and
But
Lorna all the best
before we
and
go,
get well soon.
Yeah, get well
Yeah.
soon, both of you.
Thank you.
And
Thank
also,
you.
take care, everybody.
Oh yeah,
Sorry, somebody.
Lorna,
What
before
did
you
you say?
go, Lorna, I think
Yes, Alina?
now that before you go, Lorna, just maybe 5 minutes. When is the best
hold on.
time?
Helena, because
Yes.
it's still on live stream, so Miranda had to
Oh yeah,
switch
sorry.
Miranda,
Oh,
if
sorry.
you are there, can you switch it off?
Oh.